Hola, buenas noches, mucho gusto aquí en verlos otra vez, saludarlos como cada miércoles, cada semana. Aquí estamos otra vez con con el gusto de siempre. Hoy les traigo a a una persona que me ha tocado ver crecer como luchador. Esta entrevista, de una vez les digo para que le pongan los subtítulos ahí, va a ser en inglés. Ah, pero pues espero contar también ahí con todo con su presencia. Va a ser en inglés esta entrevista, pongan los subtítulos, se los prometo que se la van a pasar bien. Y también antes de presentar al invitado, quiero pues recordarles que este 7 de marzo allá en Bogotá, Colombia, va a estar el evento de IWC. Así es que a todos los que tengan la oportunidad de ir, no se lo pierdan, va a ser un gran evento. Va a haber mucha lucha, muchas buenas batallas que se van a presentar ahí, muchos buenos luchadores, así es que pues ya saben, a los que anden por aquellos lados, no se lo pierdan. También aquí me parece, si no estoy mal, ahorita le pregunto a mi invitado también, pero el 21 de marzo me parece Allstar Lucha Libre va a tener otro evento aquí en el Bearwin Eagles Club de la ciudad de Chicago. Ahí ya saben, para que pues también se dejen caer para allá. Y pues bueno, sin más darle más rodeos, como les decía, pues este luchador me ha tocado verlo crecer luchísticamente y pues es un orgullo para mí que me dé la oportunidad de entrevistarlo. De aquí de la ciudad de Chicago, les presento a Kid Lad. How you doing,
I'm
Kid
good.
Lad?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure, having you on my program since I was telling them that I have seen you growing as a wrestler.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
So for me, it's a pleasure for me to have you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview. And this space that is for you guys. So yeah, enjoy the interview. Relax, nothing's going to happen.
You got it. You got it.
So I would like to start the program asking you, how did Kid Lad define himself?
I would say that Kid Lat is a superhero and a wrestler. When I'm not, when I'm not in the squared circle, wrestling, fighting other luchadors, I'm on the streets, saving the streets from evil and bringing people to justice. So
I see that you start doing also like a video, music video.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did a music video. Um, One of my good friends, his name is Will. Shout out Will. He's a musician, and he thought it'd be a good idea to have Kid Lat in a music video. So we were able to make that happen, which was a great time. It was pretty fun.
As we were talking behind the scenes, your family is America and Philippine.
That's correct.
How did you get into wrestling?
Um, well, it was actually my dad, which is the American side of me that really got me into it as a kid. You know, I feel like a lot of kids, they'll stumble upon wrestling because one of their parents will put them onto it. Um, so I just remember my dad watching it when I was a kid, and I was hooked from the first time. I remember the first ever um, wrestling match I saw on TV. It was a SmackDown around 2012, and it was CM Punk and Sheamus were both world champions at the time. They were tag teaming against Team Hell No, which was Kane and Daniel Bryan, and so that was really cool to me. And then eventually that led me to discovering Rey Mysterio, which would become my favorite. Because he was small and he'd do all the acrobatics and the mask was cool. So inevitably once I started doing it, lucha sort of was the style I gravitated closer to.
So how many tables and chairs do you broke before you start practicing lucha libre?
Oh, dude, so many chairs. You know, everybody has when they're younger and they like wrestling. They'll fight with their friends in the backyard and stuff. You know, I never had a trampoline, but a couple of my friends did, so I'd go over to their house. You know, I never went through a table until I started, but definitely there's definitely some chair action for sure. It's hard not to.
I mean, if I remember all the wrestlers that have I interview, they always start with like that, like watching. I remember one that was saying watching John Cena when he just started appearing in I think it was a SmackDown, and like right now all of them that we used to watch they are retired.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, what makes you feel?
Well, I'm still very young, you know, so I'm not really used to seeing all the heroes that I grew up slowly start to retire. I never thought that the day would ever come, really. But seeing the John Cena retirement tour, and then it's just thinking about who comes next, and then AJ Styles retires. Um, I can't say that I like cried about the John Cena retirement tour, but when Rey Mysterio retires, there'll be tears for sure, 100%. I don't think I can not cry. So,
Yeah, I mean Rey Mysterio. I mean, if you think about it, it's literally Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton, the ones that they are still active from that big. How would you say it, for like
the generation, yeah,
that generation? Yeah, that's the only ones.
right,
Probably CM Punk too. CM Punk, but CM Punk is like a generation after them. So I
yeah, a little
don't.
bit.
How did you come up with the idea of creating this character, Kid Lat?
Um, well, it wasn't all me. When I first started, I wasn't really doing a sort of a superhero thing. I was just sort of like a kid that had like a headband on. But I started doing work for this promotion up in Wisconsin, Frontline Pro, which is owned by my friend Ben McCoy, and that was sort of his vision. He was kind of looking to have sort of a superhero character for his roster, and he liked my work in terms of an in ring standpoint, what I was able to do in there. So he suggested that I do it. So I found this mask maker online, and I got a little mask done, and then I started trying to do the superhero thing, and it took a while to like really get the way I wanted it, but eventually, Kid Lat just sort of became his own thing. I mean, he's a superhero, right? But I feel like there's aspects to his character that are uh, a little cartoony, because I think there's a lot of wrestling superheroes. You think the Hurricane, right? You think like guys out in OVW right now, Super Z. But when I was trying to do the superhero thing, I think I was just by nature being a smaller person, and then I think two, I consider myself a rather friendly person. I was sort of just trying to be more of a sidekick really than a superhero, you know. So I think it gave like a comedic element to Kid Lat that I don't think is present in all superhero characters out there. And now where I am with the character, I feel like I'm in a very comfortable place. I feel like I know who Kid Lat is inside and out now. So outside of being a superhero, uh, he's the funny kid. He's just a funny kid, you know.
Will we ever see that funny kid being like on the opposite side,
You know,
being
I
the bad
think
guy?
I think that's the cool thing about superhero kind of characters, is that they have sort of this built-in storyline where that's something that's quite possibly looming on the horizon. There's a there's that temptation to turn to the dark side that can be worked into wrestling storylines inherently, you know.
Because like you said, you're right now you are like the what they call face,
Yeah.
but you can also be heel.
Who knows, right? Who knows?
There's I think to be a villain, you need to be a good superhero.
Definitely.
So, how long were you training before you debut or step in the ringside for the first time?
So I started training um around the start of 2021, and then for American Style, I debuted in March of 2022. So it was almost exactly a year took me for to have my first match for American Style. And then for Lucha, I started training shortly after debuting for American, and then it took me a couple months to then wrestle the Lucha Style there. So around a year overall before I had my first match by the time I started training.
So a lot of people doesn't know the difference between, let's say, wrestling and lucha libre. Which one do you think is harder to learn?
Um, I think just like how languages are different to learn. I don't know about how we quantify which one's harder per se, but they both have their elements to what makes them difficult. I think lucha libre is certainly more demanding on a physical level. Obviously, the stuff you're able to do once you start learning lucha libre, it sort of expands your arsenal of movement. Um, Wrestling in the American style is a lot more. Um, it's less demanding, yes, but there's also like a certain structure to a match that you have to really abide by in the American style. But I also think there's this misconception about lucha libre that it sort of throws structure away and psychology away, which I don't think is true at all. I think the best luchadors, the reason why they are luchadors is, or the reason they are the best luchadors is they're able to wrestle the lucha style, do all the cool, insane moves and acrobatics while keeping that fight psychology that many disregard in a certain way. Overall, after going through it and saying it, I would give the nod to Lucha because I think it still requires the same characteristics of American style while also being more physically demanding. So I'd say Lucha is a little more difficult, I would say.
And depending of the teacher too. I mean, you guys have Atomico and Joy and Alpha Danger training you
Right.
guys over there, and then you also have a seminars with famous cheeseburger, um, Sky Day. I don't know, many trainers that you can get a lot from it, like both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what's so good about All Star is the roster of trainers that we have at our disposal. Obviously, I've learned from Atomico since I started doing lucha, and his mind for it is incredible. He's very obviously like he teaches you the moves and such, but he's also very old school in his psychology and old school in teaching his students how to actually like work a match, how to engage the crowd, how to be a character and stuff like that. Um, Early on when we had Skyda more frequently, I mean, that speaks for itself. I mean, being able to learn from him and then, just the repertoire and resume that he's built as a trainer. And ever since Alpha Danger and Joy Blues have come into their own as trainers, Alpha, I love him. He's my friend. The guy is no, like, he's full throttle as a trainer, man. You ask any of the All-Star students, they'll tell you the most demanding days are when Alpha Danger's in charge. He's pedal to the metal. He's all about, conditioning and drills and technique, and making sure we're physically kept up, and able to do what we need to do in there. Uh, he's the days of training where there's definitely the most cardio and workouts and stuff like that. So
I mean, this is something, a conversation that I had with Atomico when I first met you, the first time you were wrestling with them and Allstar Lucha Libre. He told me there's a kid that is going to start training with us. I want you to see him. I was like, okay, let me see. He didn't told me who it was, okay? But then I see you show up your first match over there, and I'm like, oh, I think it's this guy. This is the one that he was talking about. And then I have seen you grow a lot. Now you are doing like flies. You are doing all kind of techniques that for some people are really hard to do. You are doing it like it's nothing to you for you.
thank you, appreciate that.
And I mean, I was like, you see me always over there, so I was talking to him like, give this guy like 2 or 3 more years, and we're going to see him in Japan or in in a bigger events, different companies all over the world. And look at you. I mean, it didn't take you 3 4 years, like I say. It take you less than that. So,
Appreciate that. I thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot.
and why don't you talk to, well, because it's also what is the name of the, from John, Fob, no,
Flow.
no, yeah, low.
Yeah.
Now they you guys working and trying to go to Japan. Is it next month, I believe, no, in April?
Yeah. It's in April. It's end of April. So
How do you feel about it?
I mean, obviously, it's a wonderful opportunity. I was absolutely stoked when I got the news. John is such an he's an influential person on my life. Hey, we have a very interesting story. Had I never met John Bullard, there's a chance I never would have known to start training with Allstar. He was the one who recommended me to Allstar. Um, I met him back when I was in my first year of doing shows. At the time, his company went under the name Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. This was before they were known as Fantastic League of Wrestling,
Fantastic.
and the world champion at the time is was my American trainer Shogun Chris Logan, and he introduced us. And since that day, John's been sort of like a wrestling father to me in many ways. Um, Being able to have worked for Flow even in the first place was a absolute blessing. I love being there because it's by nature a very cartoony and comic booky kind of promotion. So Kid Lat as a character was able to really slide in there, and was able to shine there in ways that I wouldn't have been able to had I never gotten the opportunity. And now that I know that I'm going to Japan and representing them, uh, it just means that much more being a part of the Flow team. As cool as it is, just going to Japan in general, right? That's always a dream that wrestlers want. That's one of the places you want to end up. Doing so through John and representing his company, I think that makes it even sweeter. And then in April, it'll be me versus Liam Eric of Nuevos Guerreros over there in FTO, and it'll be for the New Age Championship. So being able to have a chance to possibly bring home gold for Flow as a brand and bring it back to the States, it's one, it's nerve wracking, but two, it's very, very exciting. So
How are you preparing yourself for that?
I've watched a lot of tape on Liam Eric. I've watched probably upwards of 50 FTO dojo matches that include him and his style. And what's cool about his style is it's very, obviously he's from Japan, so the style there is naturally different over there in Japan. But Liam Eric has a very blatant, very obvious lucha sort of twinge to him, to his work. He's known as the aerial assassin over there. That's what they call him. And what he does over there is incredible. Don't get me wrong, it's incredible, but it's also stuff that I've seen Alpha Danger do, for instance, right? It's very familiar moves. So being able to, in training, be able to grind it out with guys like Alpha Danger could sort of prepare me in ways for Liam Eric. So it all comes back really to training with Allstar.
It's I feel like Atomico is giving you the, let's put it this way, like the old school lucha libre, and Alpha Danger is giving you like the new ones.
That's right. That's right.
So you will say Alpha Danger is the hard trainer to train with, whether than the Joy or Atomico.
He's I don't want to say hard. He's very easy to like. He's good to work with. He's awesome. He's a great trainer. But I'll say his sessions are the most rigorous. That's what I'll say. They're the most demanding. He's the most demanding. Joey Blues, to his credit, what he's so good at too is he comes from an American background and then adapted lucha. So on his days, we're definitely able to slow it down and then sort of think about a match structure a little more. We do a lot of practice matches on Joey Blues days, which those are fun because I'm able to work with some of the newer guys like Willie Chavez and Sir Isaac Lawrence are two guys that we have that are coming up now, and sort of able to run them through how we call matches and how matches are sort of put together in a way. But with Alpha, yeah, I mean it's pedal to the metal. We start with drills, we start with rolls, and we end up practicing crazy bumps into the ring, and then we do cardio. Also, another fact about Alpha Danger sessions, not to put them on blast, but you're late to an Alpha Danger session, you have to do 25 rolls in a row. So it's he's really strict. He's really strict. But yeah. I love, and that's what's so good about Alpha, and that's why he's so good, is because he's so strict, because it means he's very disciplined. So
everything that he's doing to you guys, they probably did it to him before.
Probably.
What was the hard part for you to when you at the beginning when you start training?
The first day of training for everyone is very daunting. That's what they say, right? I was, for American style, I started when I was 15 years old, so I was still very, very young. I was going to school. I was in high school, and I just remember waking up from the first day of bumping to get up and go to class, and it was just awful. I was grabbing my back. I was like hunched over. I couldn't sit up straight. My American trainer, Shogun Chris Logan, in a way was also Alpha Danger-esque in a sense, because he's very big on the conditioning as well. So we'd start every practice by doing 500 squats, and trying to, at the time for high school, I was a track and cross country runner, so I'd also have to do that before school. So I'd be running before school, go to school, and then I'd be practicing for wrestling. And having to do 500 squats and then trying to run the next morning isn't exactly a recipe for comfort by any means. But once you get past the first couple months of it, and it does take a while, and you stick around, it's you stick around because you have a love for it. I think, and once you know you love it, you're willing to sacrifice so many things for it. Whatever it takes to get to where you want to be in wrestling. So I think on those days very fondly, and I'm very glad that I've stuck around as long as I have. So
You know, some wrestlers that I have interviewed, they say the hard part for them was when they were running, like from the ropes
yeah,
side to side, and then you will have your back, the big mark of the rope in your back.
that's right. Yeah, that's exactly. It's very true.
Some of them say they even have fever the next day.
Yeah, the ring that we currently are the ring we have currently in Berwyn for Allstar is newer, but the one right before that uh, was a very old ring that was also, funny enough, the ring I had for Wrestle League when I first started for American too. So that was the ring I learned how to do everything and bump and run the ropes in. And the ropes in that ring they're elevator cable wrapped, so they're not like ropes exactly, which makes it even worse when you hit them. So yeah, definitely for sure, I can relate to those people who answered that way because those ropes are not nice.
I mean, that's how you know you love this sport. You know, that's how you know you love wrestling. That's how you know you are in the right place.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you remember about your debut? How would you feel that day? Were you excited? Were you nervous? You know, take us, all of us, to that day and you and end your life.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it was I believe it was March 3rd or March 4th of 2022. Wrestle League was having their anniversary show um in Pilsen, and I remember my first match was really more so of a squash match against this guy called EJ Swanson, who's still around in the Chicago scene. And it was one of his first matches too. But yeah, I mean, I remember being very, very nervous. I remember being the night before, I was texting my coach all these questions like, oh, is this music okay to have? Are my knee pads good enough? Is my gear good enough? I was very, very scared. But I just remember being out right before going out in the curtain, and all my friends that I have been training with, guys like Quinn Whittick and guys like Luis Morales, they're all there, and they're like, "Hey, man, like you got this." I remember my coach Chris Logan, he told me like, you know, just whatever you feel once you cross the curtain, that's how you feel. Don't try and act any different. Just be genuine once you go out there. If you're nervous, then just be nervous. And I was. So then I went out and I was really nervous. And then the match starts, and it was a quick one, but I mean, I that's one of the moments for sure when I knew that I wanted to do this for sure because it was an exhilarating feeling. So
What did your coach say to you before the match and after the match?
yeah, I mean, he was just like, again, just like be yourself out there. Obviously for wrestling we have to be a character, but a lot of it is also yourself because the way you connect with the crowd is to be genuine. So he was just telling me to be myself. It's okay if I'm nervous. I gotta feel that. A lot of people they try and stop themselves from being nervous, and I'm a very naturally nervous person. So instead of trying to fight it, just sort of let that nervousness sort of run through you a little bit. That's what he told me. And then after the match, he didn't really tell me anything. He just sort of hugged me and he said, he was proud that we were able to do it. And I remember somebody took a picture of him hugging me. And it's out there somewhere, moments after my first match. But yeah, I mean, it was a wonderful day. It was definitely a very fun day.
Do you still feel that every time you are about to go up and wrestle somebody?
Absolutely, absolutely. I have this weird thing where when I'm nervous, I cough a lot. You know, even if I'm not sick, if I have no mucus or anything, my throat feels itchy and I start coughing a lot. So a lot of people ask, you know, right before matches if I'm sick or if I'm okay, and I'm usually good. It's just I'm very nervous, and some people some people as they progress in their career they get over the nervousness, but some people don't, and I'm one of those people who don't. You know, again, I'm just very naturally nervous, and that could be something that, you know, I could try and be ashamed about and work on, and again fight, but that's just who I am. I'm an anxious, very nervous person, and in some ways I think it helps me out there because in some ways it makes sure that I know what I have to do, and that I'm on game and I'm not forgetting stuff, and I'm very thankful for that in a way. So absolutely, every time I'm still very nervous, no matter what kind of show it is.
And you know, some people have told me this: when you stop feeling that on you, it's time for you to retire because
Yeah,
that means you're not loving what you're doing.
yeah. I think that's very wise words. I think there's a lot of truth to that.
I mean, I don't know, like, what was the reaction of you or your family when you told them, you know what, I want to do wrestling? I think I have a career or a future in this. How did your family react to this?
Well, my parents in particular, they had very different reactions. Because my mom, she was very much like, you know, like, oh, are you sure? You know, like, you know, you got to worry about school first and make sure, you know, you're going to college and stuff like that. Eventually, you know, she did come around, and she's very supportive now. Obviously, I love my mom. Both my parents are at this point very supportive of my wrestling career. And it didn't take her that long either. There's definitely a bit of early skepticism about it, but she came around somewhat quick, and then she was full throttle at that point. But on the other hand, my dad, from the jump, he was like, "Yes, he's absolutely, you should be a wrestler. That's the best idea you've ever had." And my dad's very much a party animal kind of guy. You know, he's all for fun and all for adventure and crazy ideas. And he loves wrestling. He loves wrestling so much so. And I said, hey, you know, I think I want to be a wrestler. He was like, yeah, absolutely. You know, you don't even have to do school. But then obviously, you know, I did school. You know, because my mom wanted me to. So, but yeah, very different reactions. But at this point, they're both very supportive, and they helped me tons in my wrestling career, and I couldn't be more thankful for them. And I think I have the best parents in the world. So,
Who would you say up to this point has been your more hard rivalry, like the person who has bring you uh or has make you take 100% of you, more than 100% that you guys always give when you are in the ring, but there's always one person who bring you more than that and you're like, oh wow, I can do this too.
I mean, obviously, guys like Joey and Alpha, you know, just because I work with them every day, or every 3 times a week, but I'm just very comfortable being with them. Joey Blues especially because uh I mean, I'm very good friends with both of them, but I talk to Joey all the time. You know, we have a lot of the same interests. You know, we both love wrestling, obviously, but we talk all the time about things like football. Even, you know, he's a member of my fantasy football league I do every year. And then he's such a good base, which is hard to ignore. Uh, so I mean, we just had a match not too long ago out in South Dakota that I had a very good time with. So I mean, those guys in particular. And then besides them, there's this guy from Wrestle League. His name's Shaq Jordan. He's very good. He's very well known in the scene. Um, and I love working with him, and he brings something out of me in a similar way with Joey Blues. Is that we have very good chemistry, and then on top of that, he's just also very good, very athletic base. for me to get the fullest out of what I could do in there too. So
I mean, you have wrestling against Mike Strong too.
yeah, no, yeah, definitely Mike too. Mike, I mean, sometimes when I'm wrestling Mike Strong, I feel like I'm not even doing anything. Like I feel like he's just sort of ragdolling me around, and there's not, whatever happens happens. But Mike is so good too. Mike Mike is so athletic in sort of like a physical anomaly kind of thing. Like it's astonishing what that guy is able to do at his size. I mean, no man who looks like that should be able to moonsault, but he does. So
In a way, he kind of remind me of Mark Henry. I don't know if you remember him.
yeah, yeah.
It kind of because of the way his body is built, it kind of remind me on that. But you see the stuff that he does on the ring, and you're like, this is not possible that he can do this.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's astonishing. Right now, he's Wrestle League World Champion, and I mean, I couldn't think of a better guy to represent that. So
It's. I mean, I don't know. I hear Trueno is really good too with Flow.
yeah, Treno's great. I haven't gotten too much of a chance to work with him. I was able to work him one time at Flow, but it was a part of an 8-man tag, so we were only really able to lock horns one time. But Treno's a really good friend of mine. I like a lot of that. He's based out of Michigan, and I for some reason I'm friends with a couple of the Michigan guys up there, because there's a lot of them who are at Flow. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Treno's incredible. He's a funny guy too. Every time he posts, I'm in his comment section. I write Treno in all caps and a couple fire emojis, and then he'll do the same on my post. So I'm a big Treno fan.
Yeah, there's what is this guy's name? Blue Beetle? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Crimson Beetle. Yeah. Another guy who I've been able to work at Allstar. He's really good too. He's really good too.
And there's well, I say kids because you know my age now, almost let's say 39, 38. But I have seen them grow into what you guys are now, and I don't think you guys even have give everything that you guys have. I think there's a lot of more in you guys
Definitely.
that you guys are capable of doing, and I don't know. It's just I don't know how to describe this feeling. Like being when I see you guys start wrestling up to this point that you are right now. It's like, wow, this guy really know or really love wrestling. Because let's be honest, how many people have you seen train and then like within a week or 2 weeks they disappear and they never come back?
Yeah, countless. I'm definitely when I first started um at Wrestle League for American Style, we when I first started there was the start of our youth program kind of. They wanted more students that were around 15, 16, 17. And I was their first one. And then when I was there, a lot, came in, and then I saw everyone who came in sort of start to leave. The only one that stuck around really besides me from the program was this guy Adonis Allen, the Thundercat, who's done some work for Allstar, who's also my best friend and my roommate. So, and we became good friends because of that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely in a way it is a good thing that it's hard to stick around, because it makes it so when you do, it's because you know that you love the sport. Um, there's no mistaking someone who sticks around for 2 years and then becomes 5 years and 10 years, and then they're still doing what they love. So
And it's like I have seen some wrestlers or people they just start doing the trainings, and they go to the ring and start taking pictures and start doing all this kind of stuff. I know Atomico and Alpha Danger and Joey Blue, they don't let you guys do.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's like before you start posting pictures like that, you should learn how to wrestle,
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
because it's not this stuff is not easy to do. If it was easy, anybody could do it. And for me, I have a lot of respect for you guys because of what you guys do. I mean, I don't say nobody else can do it, but there's not many people who wants to do it.
I agree. I agree. I think that's definitely the most important part is I mean, wrestling obviously is an athletic thing, but it is something that can be learned. But you're right. I don't think there's enough people who are crazy enough to keep it up. I think everyone who's in the sport has to be a little twinge of crazy, a little bit, right? Just because even myself, uh, doing this 3 times a week, devoting my nights, and then at one point when you would have free weekends, not anymore. Once you start doing it, um, whenever I have a free Saturday come around, I treat it as a blessing because it's like ever since I started doing this, Saturdays those are usually show days. So but it's cool because as time consuming as it is, I'm also very blessed to be doing it too because um, it means the thing I love loves me back a little too to have all the opportunities that I've been getting. So
And I don't know. There's been days that I see you guys that you're doing one show in Indiana, and then the next day is Chicago, and probably you guys got to go early in the morning to do the meet and greets or whatever. Like
yeah,
when Flow do a lot of things with now they start doing it with Allstar Lucha Libre too. That they go to the schools to do like a free show for the kids, for the special kids. Is it for the special need kids, right?
yeah. Flo's done it for the Special Olympics.
The Special Olympics.
It's Special Olympics. That's what they've been doing, which is very very awesome.
How do you feel when all the kids or these kids approach you and ask you for a picture?
It's the coolest thing ever because it's like I could imagine how I was back when I was a kid, and that's all I wanted to do too was take pictures with wrestlers and cool characters and stuff like that. A little funny story about shows in schools. Me and my roommate, my friend Adonis Allen, we had a tag team match down in Mississippi about a year ago for a school show. We got it through our friend Aries Creed. Shout out Aries Creed. But it was funny because it was a show for the students, and it was a wrestling show. But the theme of the show was anti drugs. It was like a PSA for the kids to not do drugs. So the match, what it was me and my roommate. We were called a Team Dare. Dare like the program, like the anti-drug program.
Uh,
And the big heel, who was this big hulking like 6'3" guy, but he was called Addiction. And then it was about Team Dare beating Addiction, and it was really funny because all the kids were so into it. We came up with a chant. We were chanting, "Just say no," like say no to drugs, So it was really funny. I mean, it was definitely probably the most peculiar show I've ever done. But working for the kids is so awesome because they get so into it and they just have such a blast with wrestling, and wrestling has fans of all ages. But at the end of the day, the ones that are the most impressionable, who get into it the most, are definitely kids. So
and you never know if you opening the door for a future wrestler right there.
that's true. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would be awesome if for one day, you know, if I get influential enough, maybe if I'm lucky enough, then that one day I could inspire someone to also live their dreams.
Why would you say you pick up wrestler instead of any other sport?
It was just, you know, that's a hard question to answer because I don't think I ever really thought to do any other sport. I don't think. Well, I mean, there's some truth to that. There's some, not all of that shit. In high school, I was a runner, and I was pretty good at it. I was a distance runner for track and cross country, and I did like it, but I don't think I loved it the way I loved wrestling. I think I just did it for a while because I was pretty good at it. Um, but the second I knew that I could start wrestling, I always knew that I wanted to start wrestling. I love a lot of other sports. I love watching football a lot, as I stated. Me and Joey Blues, big football guys, but I don't love it the way I love wrestling. There's never been a second so far in my couple years of doing this where I would have ever thought that, oh, this isn't for me. It's never been a second guess in my mind to do wrestling.
See, that's the thing that is impressing to me because, like Atomico said, you gotta be crazy to wake up every day with something new bothering you or hurt you in your body.
Yeah, yeah.
And what would you say is the most impressive team that you have seen while doing wrestling?
Man, I think well, for one, anything Mike Strong does, obviously. But I'm fortunate enough to work for this promotion out also in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, called Mondo Lucha, and they're pretty well known in the area, and they do a lot of big shows at places called like Turner Hall, which have big crowds. So they end up having a lot of bigger names at their shows too. And one of the people who I've been lucky enough to lock horns with is the Iron Demon Shane Mercer, who's really well known in the independent scene. Um, and he's famous for his move. He's a lot like Mike Strong in many ways, where he's this big hulking guy who's able to do acrobatics and such. And obviously, he's well known for his finishing move called the moonsault and battery, where he has this guy in a body slam position on the top rope, and he'll moonsault and land with him. And I was lucky enough to be on the receiving end of that this past September. But one of my favorite things that he does, which I've seen him do a couple times now, he did it to my good friend and also one of my trainers in American, Quinn Whittick, is he sort of has the guy in a gorilla press position and sort of tosses them into like the fifth row, which was used. And with the lighting of the arena, it really just looks like he's throwing the guy into the abyss. And then in September, I was, dream come true. I was finally able to be on the receiving end of that. And I have the clip of it, and it's I put it on my Instagram. It was so cool to see because that was my first ever, and then excuse my language here. I don't like to swear, but that was my first ever holy shit chant I ever got was when he did that. So I mean, just anything Shane Mercer does, it just amazes me every time I see it. So
But you have also like shared their locker room with Bendito,
yeah,
Commander,
yeah, Commander's,
Gringo Loco.
yeah. Oh, I mean, Gringo Loco's one of those guys too. Where I mean, he's not as big as a guy like Mike Strong, but and I love Gringo. I don't mean any offense by this, but he's he's not the typical luchador build. You don't expect him to do the things he's able to do either. Yeah, being able to share locker rooms with him, yeah, Bendito, always crazy when I see Bendito. I mean, he's such an intimidating guy. Another very large individual, Bendito. And then we just had Radioactivo and Yorvak, which were
Yeah.
two that did some pretty astonishing stuff. I mean, just remembering this last match we had with him, Yorvak or Radioactivo sort of did like a springboard moonsault into a Regulete arm drag, which is insane to see. And I mean, and I was right there. You know, I was right, I was right outside the ring to see it. So at places like Allstar and places like Mondo Lucha, it feels like you're seeing the most impressive thing you've ever seen every single show. So
Yeah. I mean,
pick the one answer on that.
yeah. To say only one is like you see a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Look, we have some people saying hi to us. They have Bismarck Suso. He's saying hi from Bolivia.
Hi. Hello.
See, he's watching us from Bolivia.
Right.
And you probably know this guy, Símbolo Heredero. He is from, from here, from Chicago. He's a wrestler too. He's saying hi.
Hello.
So up to this point, which one will you say is the match that it make an before and after in your career?
Like what would you say is like my favorite?
No, like the match that is it has like a precedent in your career, like it makes one after and before.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like before I started wrestling for the performance.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, I one of my favorite matches um was I would say of course I'm gonna say this because it's Rey Mysterio, but it's it's Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle from SummerSlam that's one of my favorites personally. I also want to say Ray and Eddie from Halloween Havoc. Obviously, that's
Yeah. That's a classic.
that one in terms of the in-ring action is probably my favorite ever. Um, yeah, I mean, it's matches like those that ignited sort of the fire of wanting to do this. In terms of after like matches that I've done or
Mm-hmm. Or matches that you have watched that you're like, how did these guys do this?
oh man, uh, um, going back to Mondo Lucha again, it was Gringo Loco versus Arez, who's obviously clone down in W now, and then Speedball Mike Bailey had this triple threat that was absolutely insane. Arez is sort of like one of those guys that I always wanted the opportunity to share a locker room with, and then I got to, which was so cool. Um, yeah, obviously, in both cases, in both matches mentioned, those are very high octane, acrobatic lucha kind of matches, which is the style that at the end of the day I love the most, and is a style that uh, you know anyone listening could adapt and learn to if they swing by the Berwyn Eagles Club on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at Allstar Lucha Libre.
They can learn that. They can learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody wanna take it. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say when Rey Mysterio win the Intercontinental Champion,
Yeah.
like one of the first time that he did it, and actually the one that you guys, to me the one that you guys did in All Star Lucha Libre, where I think I put a clip on my YouTube channel of Mike Strong and having no Mike Strong wasn't the bottom. It was like 8 acting
Yeah.
match, I think,
Okay.
that you guys go on the shoulder and then from the top you just
Oh, I remember this. Yeah. I remember that was a couple of shows ago. Yeah, I remember that. I love that match too because we had Martin from Wrestling with Unicorns there, who's
Yeah.
really with his media stuff. And I just remember talking with Golden Dragon and Mike Strong. Just like we knew Martin was there, and we're like, the whole point of this match now is we want to get them as many clips as possible, and we got like 5 or 6 clips on Unicorns just from that match alone. And one of them was I did a cross body to Mike Strong, and then in midair he caught it into a moonsault. Which I mean,
Yeah.
of course he did because he's Mike Strong. So
Yeah, that was a good one. Like you jump and then he somehow turn and then
yeah, wow. On
that's
that
what
note too, I know this was a previous question you asked me about who brings out the most in me, and I said a couple names, but one that I absolutely forgot, and obviously would probably be my answer is a Golden Dragon. I love wrestling Golden Dragon. That's my guy. I mean, we've wrestled many times now. He's my most probably might be my favorite opponent to work is Golden Dragon. So
I mean, you guys have a really good chemistry in the ring, and that shows when you guys do your matches because those matches are incredible.
yeah,
Anything can happen.
right.
Uh, what will what will be your like your one lifetime match if you can have the opportunity to decide? Like I don't know, from people that use from wrestlers that you see growing up, or from like wrestlers that you think that you're never going to be able because they're retiring to match against them or with them. Like let's do two and two, like you and somebody else versus who would you like to be?
Oh, I mean, I don't think I'll ever get the chance to. Obviously, and it's an obvious answer. But I mean, Rey Mysterio is my favorite, so I mean that'd be cool. But I mean, he's getting up there, so. um, man, I mean, there's a lot of guys, you know, that are sort of dream matches for me. Um, I like a lot of the guys in the AEW right now. I like Will Ospreay has always been one that I watched a lot of tape with, and I really like his stuff. That might be a cool one. Um, I'm a big fan of Darby Allin as well. I like the way he takes bumps. I'm a big fan of like taking crazy stuff. So um, you know, uh, guys sort of immediately on the indies who I've never gotten a chance to work with, and I'd love to. Um, the concept of me having a match with Gringo Loco has gotten that has been something that's close to have happened, but has not happened yet. And I think if I go my entire career without having that match, I'll be rather upset. So I would really like one day to wrestle Gringo Loco 1-on-1. I think.
That'll be a good match.
I think so too.
I mean, what about Bandido?
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, oh, that for sure, absolutely.
Bandido, Commander, who else is big in an AEW clone?
Clone would be awesome. Clone would be really cool.
Man, where do you see yourself in let's say 5 years from now?
I think in terms of goal setting, obviously everybody wants to get signed and stuff like that, and that would be really cool. But I think what's the most appealing to me about wrestling, and I'm lucky because it's starting to happen more and more, is I want to go as many places as far away as possible. You know, I want to travel as much as possible, especially internationally. You know, so I want to be consistently going to places like Mexico and going to places like Japan, even places like the UK. In April, right before Japan, I'm lucky enough to make my second trip down to Canada, which is really cool. So in 5 years, I'd like to be someone who's really traveling a lot and really flying places, you know, far away to wrestle.
Man, Canada, Canada. I mean, look. I'm not. I don't want to scare you because I mean I know you're not getting scared easily. But if you think the training with Alpha Danger, Atomico, and Joy Blue is hard right now, if you get a chance to go and train in Mexico,
Oh yeah.
over there, I think they train 5 days a week or 6 days a week,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, some of them just live in the dojo. Yeah.
and they doing it like not once a day. They do like 3 or 4 sessions a day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. But also, you know, that's how I'd like to be someday. You know, that's the goal. Is I'd like to be doing that. I'd like it. You know, if I could be wrestling every single day, multiple times a day, I would. And I think most people who do this would say the same. You know, obviously, um, I'm a junior in college right now. You know, I have stuff like that. I still have work. I need to finish up school, you know, and then once I can, you know, it's full throttle. You know, I believe I will. I'll be doing my best to be at that point, like some of those guys are over at places like Bandito's gym, you know, for instance. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, you worked with Atomico Junior before,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he is hard when he trained too.
Uh huh.
He, I heard some people saying that he is harder than I mean, without minimize the job, the incredible job that they do. He is harder than Atomico and Alpha Danger and Joy Blues.
Absolutely. 100%.
So, what would it be like? You what would you say to the people that wanna train and that wanna start doing lucha libre?
I would say don't think about it too much. If you feel like you want to try it, then try it. And then if you feel like you want to keep trying it, then keep trying it. Because at that point, if you feel like you want to keep doing it, that means you love it. So I would say you just jump in the pool. Don't even think about it too much. And then whether or not you want to keep doing this is going to answer itself. If you grew up a fan of wrestling and lucha libre, and you want to, you know, perhaps try and do this for, you know, get into the sport, um, there's no harm in trying it out. But just know that once you're in, you're in. You know, I rarely, very rarely are you, if you like it, are you ever gonna want to stop? And it's taxing and it's hard. So yeah, I mean, just jump in though. Just don't think about it too much and just do it.
All the adrenaline, all the you gotta live with pain. You gotta be a little bit of crazy. Uh, do it with the right people too, though. I will say I will add this to your comment. I will say do it with the people who knows and who are people a person who is going to make sure you don't get hurt in the process.
Absolutely.
Because there's people that they don't care. They just wanna, you know, get new talent, and then they don't care if they get hurt. They don't care if anything.
Yeah.
So I will, I will go to Allstar Lucha Libre and start training there.
Yeah.
Berwin Eagles Club.
100%. That's right.
Any days coming for you? Like any events coming soon for you that you want
Um.
people so they can go and see you over there?
Yeah. I mean, just this weekend, I'll be in Wisconsin for No Regrets Wrestling. That's in Rothschild, Wisconsin. That's for a convention show though, so I don't know if that's unless you're going to that, I don't know if you'll be able to catch that. But every month I'm in Joliet for Rocket Pro Wrestling, and I'll be there this Saturday. So go see that. Then the following weeks I'll be at Frontline Pro out in Wisconsin. Unfortunately, on the 21st, I won't be able to be at Allstar this month. But on the 21st, go to Allstar Lucha Libre. Go to Allstar every single month. That's the best show I believe you could get in Chicago. So, yeah, I mean, my schedule is kind of a little all over the place right now. It's still very early on in the year, so as many wrestlers are early on in the year, our dates are kind of all over the place. But follow my page at Kid Lab Boy Wonder. It's where you can find all my stuff. Facebook at Joe Wynn, as you've so kindly put below. But yeah, I mean, those are the places you can find me. So
they can ask over there. You have merchandise, right? You sell.
Yeah, that I don't really have a website for that, but if you catch me at shows, yeah, I have merchandise. I have masks and shirts and stuff like that. I'm working on capes because shout out my good friend Marche Rocket. His son really wants a cape, so I'm gonna start doing capes now.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being in this interview with me. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of nervous because it's my first 100% interview on English.
Yeah, well, you did a great job.
I could do it without you.
It's awesome. And then, thank you so much for having me because I've known you for such a long time, so it's a good to finally be able to do this with you. So
it's like we were talking about to doing this for like the past 2 years.
That's right.
Something like that, and then we finally can match our schedules and all that, and finally get over here. Like I say, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to interview, and for more people know they're going to see the interview later on from all over not all over the world, but some of them,
Yeah.
Mexico, USA, Costa Rica, Colombia, all the places that they follow us from. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Para ustedes, ahora sí, nos vemos el próximo miércoles a la misma hora por el mismo canal. Y recuerden, you say the 21st, March 21st is the event from Allstar, right?
Yeah, 21st.
Tenemos eventos el 21 en Allstar, el 7 allá es sábado 7 en Colombia, y el domingo 8 me parece que es también allá en Costa Rica. Va a haber este evento, así es que no se lo pierdan. Nos vemos la próxima semana con un nuevo invitado. Thank you very much, bro. See you around, and thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Nos despedimos.